Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Fiji needs 300 more doctors to overcome shortage. Man dead after early morning Nandi accident. And ATS chair questions ATSET tune change.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The Health Ministry says the country needs 300 more doctors to overcome the shortage currently faced. Ministry of Health says they currently have 660 doctors and the numbers needed to meet the patient ratio is 960.
With another lot of 68 doctors inducted today, Permanent Secretary for Civil Service Bernadette Wells says this number is still far from addressing the shortage of doctors in the country.
We still have vacancies of around 300 doctors. We've been running 5 phases of recruitment so far since March last year. Each phase involves us using an international recruiter and advertising internationally and locally, and we're running merit-based recruitment processes constantly to bring doctors in Fiji.
Numerous complaints received by the Health Ministry regarding the issue. Health Minister Rosie Akbar says work is progressing to meet the demand from the public.
Of course, fixing the issues that you and I know that is common to the health sector will take time, will take money, and it will take effort, and it is not something that we'll be able to do overnight.
The Civil Service Ministry is also looking at the possibility of recruiting overseas doctors.
But we are running across global medical shortages, so we have to come up with some innovative ways of attracting doctors into Fiji, and we are currently looking at a number of other ways to get doctors here, like through memorandums of understanding with universities and area health services in other countries.
Akbar says the shortage is a reality for the country and they are working closely with the Civil Service Ministry to address the problem. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A family in Nandi is still trying to come to terms with the loss of a loved one who died this morning after the vehicle he was travelling in veered off the road and fell into a river in Sambeto. 26-year-old Praneet Gaunda was travelling with 3 others when it's alleged the driver lost control of the vehicle, resulting in the tragedy. As Felipe Naikaso reports, the family is still shocked with the news.
It's a dark day for this family after receiving the call early this morning to be told that a loved one was in a horrific road accident.
No, we didn't, because whenever he comes late, he used to call us that he'll be late or who with the R and all those things. So we didn't thought that it will be happen. And when we got the news, we were shocked, and we were like thought, no, it can't be. After that, we didn't know that he'll be no longer with us. He won't be there with us. As I'm the youngest one, and he's the eldest one. So he just left me without no reason. And
Pranesh, who is the younger brother of Praneet, told FBC News that he still cannot believe that his elder sibling is no more. He also said that his brother had told him that he would be getting married this year.
I just asked him when he'll gonna come back. He said that afternoon he'll gonna be home. And then after that, around something 7 or 8 o'clock, he called mom and told that he'll come in the morning. He's at some friend's place. Yes. And then I said, okay. Then mom said, okay. Then 3 o'clock we had a call that he got accident. So we rushed to Namaka police station, and then we were told that he is dead.
The incident occurred on the Waimelika Bridge after 1 this morning. When FBC News arrived at the scene, the vehicle was completely submerged. An eyewitness says he was watching movies with 2 of his friends when they heard a loud crash.
When we got here, the car was already in the river. We jumped in and helped the other passengers get out safely. One of the passengers we got out had already died by then.
The post-mortem will be conducted soon to ascertain whether the man died from the impact of the accident or drowned. The 26-year-old deceased will be laid to rest next Monday. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
Former SODELPA and opposition leader Rotemu Mukepa will contest this year's general election. Rotemu's spokesperson, Rodona Takaleyale, confirmed this for FBC News today. Takaleyale said the paramount chief of Mburumbasanga has received huge support and backing from Fijians living overseas, especially those in the USA and Australia. Last year, the former SODELPA leader stated she would not contest the elections. However, this has changed as she is likely to be in the final 21 provisional candidates to be announced by the party soon. Air Terminal Services Chair Ria Said Kayum is questioning the integrity of ATS Employees Trust Secretary Vili Finau after he admitted on FBC News last night they have all the documents to prove that the more than $5 million is accounted for. Said Kayum says it was only after ATS talked about the dividend given to ATSET when they started talking and said they never received the money. However, when ATS presented the evidence to prove the money was given to ATSET, Finau changed his story around again.
Did you receive the money or not? Because if you did, then why didn't you just say we received the money? And he's saying that he needs to now go to the office to look at the papers to verify if you received the money or not. You don't need lawyers or verification. You just have to say, did you receive the money into your account that ATS gave ATSET? Or you didn't. How you used it, that's not our problem. That's ATSET's problem.
The ATS chairman has also hit out at supporting politicians and unionists who have remained mum on the ATSET dividend issue. Said Kayum says this goes to show that FTUC General Secretary Felix Anthony, as well as others, do not care about the ATS strikers, despite telling Fiji they're acting in the interests of the workers. He says this dividend money rightfully belongs to the workers and has questioned Anthony and others why they're not concerned about the money.
So he's saying, you know, we're going to fight for the workers and get you what belongs to you. But at the same time, he's saying, about the money, I'm not going to talk about it. That's between you and ATSET. If he's concerned, and the politicians are concerned, and the unionists are concerned about the workers, they can't pick and choose about what is of interest to the workers. They should be concerned about everything for the workers, especially when it involves the workers' own money and such a huge amount of more than $5 million.
Still to come, police again warns religion vandals. And north to get more development of roads and bridges. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo bola ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoi Viti.
Yang kuya sila talit. Nagurara may naomanya, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoi Viti na bonga ni BNN.
Police will come down hard on those who vandalize places of worship or carry out any sacrilege acts around the country. This is after police received a report of a break-in at Vishnu Bhavan Temple in Nausori yesterday, where religious books were torn, idols damaged and walls vandalized. Kelly Vavala reports.
Sacrilege acts and frequent break-ins at various temples is now becoming a concern for some religious groups, and police will no longer tolerate this behavior.
We've received the report from a neighbor who witnessed a number of people moving away from the temple that morning, and upon closer investigation noticed that there was a break into the temple. Our police officers are working on that case now.
Sri Sanatan Dharam Pratinidhi Sabha of Fiji says it is very disappointing to see that places of worship are being vandalized, and they welcome any police investigations.
Every individual has the right to practice his or her religion freely and without any fear. Sanatan Fiji is requesting all Fijians to live peacefully with each other in this country.
Police add such acts are unacceptable and those involved will be brought to justice.
Do not entertain such activities. If you know of someone who's done such a thing, please report to us. if there are conversations that are taking place encouraging such activity, please correct those that are talking on these issues and tell them the right way that things should be.
Meanwhile, police is urging the public to respect each other's religions because every person has the right to practice their religion freely without fear. Kalivatala, FBC News.
People in the north can expect better roads and bridges by the end of the year as the Fiji Roads Authority prioritizes its work in the division. CEO Jonathan Moore says they expect to complete 5 new roads and will replace 6 bridges over the coming months. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
The FRA has begun work on improving accessibility and safety on roads in Lambasa and its surrounding areas.
We're progressing work on several roads in the north, the Coronasolo, Kavalu and Banikia roads in particular, and we're planning to work on the Nadavu, Ravi Ravi sections as well. 5 new roads will be worked on in the north over the next year. They're being planned now, and tenders will go out to work on each one of those.
Moore says there are also plans to work on crossings and replacing a number of bridges.
And we're also starting the works on 6 bridge replacements in the north as well. Some of those are in pretty critical condition. We're taking temporary steps right now, but there will be permanent replacements over the next 18 months.
Meanwhile, the FRA is also trying to up its game on maintaining Fiji's roads.
We're also experimenting on a new kind of seal for the roads in Fiji over in Botalevu. It's a thing called Ota seal, and it involves putting down special layers which give more adhesion for the seal and more integrity to the seal. So the view is it will last a longer period without having to be redone.
Also on the work plan for the north, around 10 locations around schools and health centres will have reseals for their roads. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The World Health Organization and South Pacific Tourism Organization have signed an understanding to promote healthy workplaces and accessible facilities in the South Pacific tourism. This is aimed at benefiting both the visitors and the hotel workers where possible and appropriate. WHO representative for the South Pacific, Corin Capuano, says that through this initiative, they plan to make the South Pacific tourism healthier and more inclusive. This is the first time WHO and SPTO has signed a memorandum of understanding to create a healthier tourism sector in the Pacific region. This partnership is also aimed at meeting international obligations, such as international treaties on the WHO Convention on Tobacco Control and Global Non-Communicable Diseases targets.
Also welcome this great partnership because I believe that if we have a happy and healthy workforce, means that they'll be productive and then our service will improve.
More than 400 workers of Fulton Hogan Highways and selected subcontractors have participated in back-to-work safety training. The sessions were held at their depots in Samambula, Rewa and Savusavu. Manager Health and Safety John Tinsley says it's important that workers, after returning from a holiday break, get refreshed and refocused on basic safety rules, procedures and hazards of their work. He says upgrading and maintaining roads carries a lot of risk and potential hazards. Tinsley says Fulton Hogan Highways and their subcontractors are a team with safety as their priority, with a zero harm as the ultimate goal for 2018. Now ahead in sports with Jamie, all Football League matches called off, but we now join Akosita Tale for the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening. Coming up, HFC announces new CEO. And in growing Fiji, government starts work on North and Viti-Levu optic link. Stay with us.
Moala ranalika au tikongona tauna singatoka andou talitaka na wakaronga na Bull FM namba 2 na sere
ya dora subuli kurna bili iborani batukara hambara binanga do talitakina na wakaronga na Bull FM namba 2 na sere Bula
Bull FM namba 2 na sere.
Leading business, HFC Bank has appointed Rakesh Ram as the Chief Executive Officer for the bank today. Chairman for the Board of Directors for HFC Bank, Tom Rickett, says Ram is an experienced banker with over 30 years of distinguished service in the banking industry, both locally and internationally. Ram was Deputy CEO and Head of Commercial, Corporate and Institutional Banking for the ANZ Banking Group in Fiji. He was also the Head of Asset Finance, Pacific Region Manager Credit Pacific, based in Melbourne, Australia. He has also held positions as Head of Relationship Banking at ANZ Tonga and Head of Lending at ANZ Samoa. Ram will start with HFC Bank from Monday next week.
We welcome both Mr. Ram and his spouse, Mrs. Kamlesh Ram, to the HFC family. He's an experienced banker, and he's won several awards with ANZ Bank in his time. He is a career banker, very experienced in the Fiji market, and we are confident that he will add value to HFC Bank.
The South Pacific Stock Exchange will be working to list more companies this year. SPSC Business Development Manager Pritesh Prasad says they'll try to achieve this with different investor mechanisms. The only company to list itself on the stock exchange last year was Freebird Institute. Prasad also said 2017 trends show an increase in Fijians investing in listed companies, and they expect the same this year. As of now, 19 companies are listed in the SPSC listing.
Now with that, our focus will also be on trying a couple of new investor awareness mechanisms, which we'll be hearing over a couple of months from here on. And through that, we're trying to, now while we try to promote the number of people investing in the stock market, on the flip side, we'll also try and focus and try and increase and promote the number of companies that can join the official list of the stock exchange in 2018.
We now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the stock market.
Thank you. A quick update on the global market. This morning, we saw the Fiji dollar weakened against the US by 2 basis points, but strengthened by 28 basis points against New Zealand dollar. Global Dairy Trade Index, a major event for New Zealand market, was released at 4.9% versus the 2.2% last recorded. It's viewed as a leading indicator for New Zealand trade balance, as dairy industry accounts for more than 29% of the New Zealand exports. Aussie was given a boost after the release of their consumer confidence and home loan numbers. Data showed the value of home loan lending rose for the second month in November. Later tonight, we expect the Eurozone's inflation numbers, followed by Bank of Canada's interest rate decision tomorrow morning. And that's all for today. Vinaka.
Thanks, Rocco. Now looking at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The dollar rose against the currencies of our major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, as well as the Chinese yuan and the euro, but slipped slightly against the US dollar, PNG kina and the Japanese yen. On the commodities market, oil prices were down at $63.90 a barrel. Gold was on the rise at $1,341.47 per ounce, while silver dropped slightly to close at $17.21 an ounce. In growing Fiji, the government has commissioned Swedish internet infrastructure specialist Flex Enclosure for the construction of an e-center cable landing station in Savu-Savu. This government initiative will be a big boost to the local economy and provide more jobs and opportunities for job creation in the ICT sector. Coupled with this, it's expected to bring greater telecommunication security between the two main islands to ensure uninterrupted emergency communications during severe weather events. It's also estimated that Vanua-Levu will have full access to high-speed internet services in the first half of this year. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thanks, Akosita. Up ahead in sports, Fiji Rugby Union announces bid plans for World Series. And Mara start to defend owned tournament title. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट आई लव मिर्ची एफएम
हमें स्पिन तो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट
The Fiji Rugby Union has confirmed on the 28th of February it will submit its World Rugby 7 Series bid to host the tournament in the 2019-2020 season. The FRU has put together Fiji for Seven's task force to work on the bid. Vasnil Prasad reports.
The Fiji Rugby Union has 41 days from today to compile an exciting bid to host one of the World Rugby 7 Series tournament.
We were asked to put in our expression of interest late last year, and by 28th November, World Rugby acknowledged our expression of interest, and then we were given access to the bid documents.
FRU General Manager Commercial Brian Thoburn and former Argentina Rugby CEO Greg Peters are leading the bid. They have strict criteria that needs to be fulfilled.
A lot of work to do, and as I say, we're approaching it from wanting to put our very best foot forward, so that whilst it might be a challenge for World Rugby in some ways to come to Fiji, we're going to make it so hard for them to say no that they have to.
Peter says they are working hard to ensure they are fully compliant.
We're starting from a base where we haven't hosted an event of this nature before. Other people, the other 17 people we understand are starting from a base here, and we've got to go up.
Fans are also being urged to show their support by registering on Fiji47s.com.
Introduced a major prize which will be drawn at the end of February from one of those people who will get a trip for two to Hong Kong.
If Fiji wins the bid to host the tournament, it will be a 4-year contract beginning from 2019-2020 season. If this happens, it may also mean one of either Australia or New Zealand will lose its hosting rights. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
All Black Sevens coach Clark Laidlaw has named 3 Fijians in his final 13-member team for the Sydney and Hamilton tournaments. Meanwhile, the Australian Sevens side will miss the services of its most experienced player when the World Rugby 7 Series resumes in Sydney. Wallabies halfback Will Genia is eager for more challenges with his new club in Super Rugby this season. Fiji Pearl star shooter and former captain Maria Lutua Rusivakula, along with Clara Nawai and Jacinta Lal, have declared themselves unavailable for the national netball team to compete at the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia. The void left by the 3 players will most likely be filled by Fijians based abroad. Mili Tavanga with the details.
Fiji Pearls coach Vicky Wilson says it is a big loss without Maria Lutua in her team. Lutua is expecting her first child and hence will miss the Commonwealth Games. To provide cover, Wilson has roped in 3 overseas-based players, Andim Bolokoro, Alice Noelle and Bella Sobi.
3 girls who are in our squad and they're based overseas, so once we finalise the team, we'll know if those players will return here to train.
Meanwhile, experienced player like Alessi Wanga Paul will have to take charge of added responsibilities.
I reckon it's tough, but we're coping, we're taking one day at a time. As for me personally, my preparation has been going really good.
Currently, there are 20 players in the training squad who have undergone intense training last week.
We just have returned from a camp that we held in Pacific Harbour last week. It was a fitness camp. We ran, they swam, they kayaked and tackled the sand dunes at Sigatoka.
Wilson is expected to name her squad in the next fortnight. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
With just over a week to go before the Mbula FM Marist volleyball tournament, and the host club is wary that teams will be more determined to wrestle the men's title away from them this year. The task of defending the title made all that more challenging with a fairly new squad. Luciana Tangidakimba reports.
The Marist team knows defending a title is always harder than winning it, and what makes the task even tougher is when the team has to do with a new set of players.
Especially in our club, we have a lot of our boys has gone out from us, and we have few boys over here. Like we have about 7 old players here, and the rest are the new ones. So we're looking forward to the tournament, and we're just trying to get the game roll on and try to defend our title.
Tombala adds with top teams taking part, they will all be out to claim the title.
Team expectation from your side, I think they really want to win the tournament. All the team wants to win because the registration is too high, $500, but the price too is good. So everybody wants to win the tournament.
Meanwhile, Vice Captain Anthony Foster says in order to defend the title, the side needs teamwork and unity.
To defend our title, first you need to bond as a team to get each and everyone together in the right mindset. And yeah, we're mostly working together as a compact team. And I think we can achieve what we want this year.
The tournament will be played next Friday and Saturday in Suva. Luciana Tangirakimbao, FBC Sports.
The Fiji Bowling Association says its national reps have developed a liking for playing higher-ranked teams and adds it won't be any different when they take on the best in the world at the Commonwealth Games in April. Ironi Tuinuku reports.
Bowls Fiji Secretary Abdul Kalim says they have been waiting for this opportunity and are eager to participate.
When we go and play Australia and New Zealand, we are not afraid of them. They are afraid of us. You know, they are stronger. They are technically superior, but we have that edge on them. We like to play them and we like to beat them.
Playing against the best does not mean Fiji cannot win.
That you put any bowler in Fiji and you say, you got to play an Australian opponent, they'll go for it. They will say, yeah, bring him on. They're better, so what? We'll beat them.
Fasanok Chief Executive Lauren Ma has full faith in the bowlers ahead of the Games.
So they have been to a number of Commonwealth Games, but in addition to that, they regularly go overseas for competition, and they have been to World Championships. So they're not new to this level of competition. They know what they're going into, and so I'm sure they will be training accordingly.
Bowls Fiji will select 5 female and 5 male to represent Fiji to the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia come April. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather and in new media. There's a new phone in the market that can charge other phones. Exciting times, I tell you. Find out more after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola ndo talita na Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela, nagudurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na domoy viti na honga ni BNN.
In new media, there is a new rugged phone in town that can also take photos underwater. The Rugged Cat S41 also charges dying phones. Weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. A much clearer day around the nation today, though there is showers indicated for southern parts of the country. Also on that note, a flood alert that was previously in place for low-lying areas is now being cancelled. Let's check out the Western Division for today. It mostly stayed cloudy with light showers up for tonight. Eastwards from Peck Harbour to Suva, an overcast one with hazy skies and humidity level was quite high. And up north, much the same as other centres, showers are expected for later tonight. At sea, eastern northeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 1:27 with high tide at 7:48. Sunrise will be at 5:44. For tomorrow, nothing major, just few light showers. Other than that, the day will be clear. Tomorrow's temps, Nandi will be the warmest with highs of 32 degrees. And looking further on to Friday, it looks like the light showers will follow us into the weekend. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse today, we asked, should second-hand Prius cars be banned in Fiji?
don't think so, because we have to also think about the low-class people who earning below their budget. They can afford a car. No? That's why second-hand vehicle is important for Fiji.
Too much accident, gas vehicle.
I think it should be banned because it has caused a lot of problems. It has caused a lot of fire.
Yes, because of safety reasons, because plenty of them are getting burnt on the road.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, rare white tiger sextuplets made their first public appearance in southwest China this week. According to the Recapping the main stories, Fiji needs 300 more doctors to overcome shortage. Man dead after early morning Nadi accident. An ATS chair questions ATSIT tune change. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question for this week, we are asking, would you like to see new players included in the Fiji Sevens team for Sydney Sevens and Hamilton Sevens? Visit our FBC website to answer. Now, before we go, our shot of the day comes all the way from Rotuma. Nigel Sensor Robinson sent a beautiful photograph taken from Ahau government station on the island of Rotuma. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kuminasong bola ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki yang gitu Venezuela nagudurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.